And welcome back to another episode of Cats Cup Podcast. You're here with your boys, Christian, Cody, and Jake from Stat Farm. What's up,
That
boys?
Not too much, man.
nothing much.
Yep.
Everybody have a good day?
Yeah,
Pretty
real good day,
How about
actually.
you, buddy?
Buddy, I'm living the dream.
Absolutely.
Might not be mine, but it's somebody's, you know?
Yeah.
Guess that's all you can ask for.
That's right, buddy. I tell you. But so, boys, Saturday, tough game against Alabama. We'll start off hot. We'll get this one over with. I mean, we actually got two games to cover, but we'll cover the most recent one
Sure.
since it was a bigger opponent. I would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Playing against a top 5 matchup. Got Coach Ryan. We in here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Love it.
So, what's one takeaway you guys got on that game?
Yeah, are we talking about the Bama game first, or just want to be clear on that? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you first, buddy.
I thought we played a decent game. We didn't do a lot of wrong. Felt like defensively we could obviously have been a lot better. We made a lot of stupid decisions in the game that probably if we didn't do that we probably would have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I thought we played a great game, and you can't really be mad. It's number 4 Alabama. They're one of the top teams in the country. You knew that coming into this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really upset. I know that we've got a lot of learning to do. Pope even said that in his interview. We've got to, and it sucks to lose, but I mean, it's the toughest conference in college basketball. You're playing the best of the best. I don't expect you to win every single game. So again, not upset, but excited to where we're going to go from this, because I feel like we're going to improve off this game and we're going to be even better later down the stretch. So again, not upset really, but sucks to lose.
I like it. It's a game where you're not too mad after a loss, like Cody was saying. You scored 97 points. We're playing a team that was coming off of a bad loss against Ole Miss at home, and they basically took it out on us. Even when you lose to the number 4 team in the nation, you don't get mad. You just, say, hey, this is what we need to work on here and there if you want to make a big tournament run. And Coach Ryan is correct. Defense has to improve. I will say this. It has improved somewhat, but to his point, it does need to keep improving. If this is a team that wants to make it to the Final Four, defense does have to get better. I think they're poised to still make the Elite Eight. In terms of the SEC tournament seeding, I think that right there was the battle for the 2 seed. Right now, Bama has the upper hand. We have to go to Bama later in the season and play them. I think that's February 22nd. It's always hard playing at Bama in general. I think Bama's the front runner for the number 2 seed now, and Bama's a front runner to get a number 1, probably playing in Lexington again for the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament. So props to Bama. So many games that we've just played like garbage against Clemson, played like garbage against Ohio State. Didn't play that well against Georgia in the first half, but this is a loss where you can kind of be happy that this is where, Kentucky is. Yes, we've got some place to improve, but we're not hurting or anything. I think right now your top 4 in the SEC is going to be Auburn, Bama, Kentucky, and Tennessee right now, unless Florida somehow can squeeze in, which Florida could potentially get that number 4. I think right now Florida and Tennessee are tied in a sense for that. I don't want to say tied, but fighting for it.
So the one thing I took away from this past game against Alabama, I personally didn't get to watch it. I kind of got to keep up later in the second half. I was busy doing some family matters. But one thing that I kind of took away from it was kind of like back and forth, but like we could never get it past and get ahead to where we could pull ahead and get a game, like get the game won.
Yeah.
And one thing that kind of drives me wild, though, I hate losing at home. I hate when they lose at Rupp. That drives me absolute nuts. And and I know Pope, being a former Kentucky Wildcat basketball player and national championship winner, he knows how much it takes to win, or what it means for the Kentucky fan base to win at Rupp. So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we kind of got the bad taste in our mouth about losing at home during the football season, so we kind of.
Well, Kroger, buddy, you got to come in and grocery shop, get your pickings of what you want, and then leave. I mean, that's how a grocery store works. But
yeah, but going to the defense, you can't allow Bama to score 102. I mean, you let Florida score 100.
True.
You can't let teams like that. I mean, these are teams you're going to be facing in March. You know, even I mean, you're not going to be playing at home, but. You know, you being at home, you have the biggest advantage out of the other team. You shouldn't lose those games, obviously.
But one thing,
that's true.
Going into this year, it was like, you know, the one thing that we were like, okay, Pope's going to bring a new edge to the defensive side of the ball. Because, I mean, like last year, defense was awful. Like, I mean, a lot of the games, like, we won, I mean, we were in shootouts. Like, I mean, it was constantly like 100, like, we'd see 100-point games. And now we're starting to get back into that. Like, I mean, I'm not knocking on Pope. I'm not saying that. It's just like, you know, the thing with the hire of Pope was his instinct on defense and his offensive game plans.
Yeah.
And we've not really saw that next leap from the defensive side of the ball, but I'm going to give them some leeway just because, you know, this team, what's the record right now?
44.
14-4. Okay, so this is their 18th game, technically 20th game playing together. A lot of these teams, I mean, due to the transfer portal, not a lot of teams have that same like glue, but a lot of your better teams in the nation still have a core, like they've had a continuation of players, and they've still got a lot of chemistry there. This team is entirely new, like down to the root. One guy is on the team from last year, so they're still meshing, and I'm going to give them till about middle of February to get that improvement on defense, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. No, go ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I was talking to Jake.
Oh
no, I was just agreeing with Christian.
I think that offensively you look really good. Like Coach Ryan said, defense you got to improve. You know, there's a couple of Coach Ryan said it there. You had a missed three from Perry and missed three from Almanor. That puts you right back in the game with 1 point. Who knows? You could still win that game. And looking at the stats, most of everybody was in double figures besides Travis Perry and Andrew Carr. And Andrew Carr didn't have the greatest game. And, you know, and I feel like, I mean, obviously that hurts us a lot, you know, and you can't really blame Travis any because he's still trying to catch up to speed with the offense and all that stuff. So I can't really blame Travis.
Yeah.
But you know, Andrew's going to have a better game in those situations. He wasn't hitting a lot. He also got into foul trouble. So that didn't help at all. But again, not upset. Not going to be mad at nobody. It's nobody's fault. It was a team effort. Bless you.
Thank you.
And you know, once we got a couple of bigger games coming up. We got Vandy, who just knocked Tennessee off.
Yeah.
We got to go to Vandy, and then we got to go to Tennessee after Vandy. So we're gonna see, and then we got to go Ole Miss. And you got a couple more games before you got a big game at home, and I think Tennessee on February 11th is that next big home game.
Yeah.
February 1st.
I wouldn't even say that's a big game. The way
that's going to be a big fan base game.
There you go.
Fan base game doesn't count. I'm talking about basketball.
Bro, if there's a slight part of you that's like, if Arkansas wins,
Arkansas by 15 points, 15 plus points, I'll be upset.
That's what I'm saying. So,
sorry,
you can't really you can't say that's not a big game just because.
Right.
I mean, there is a lot on that game, and I mean, there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Pope to beat Cal.
True.
So I mean, there's gonna be a lot of, just bad blood, not really toward each other, but there's gonna be some we're here, this is the new Kentucky, new era of Kentucky. We're gonna show you what that is, you know.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I think within the first 5 minutes of the game, it's going to be like that. And I feel like Kentucky's going to go on a bit of a run. And by the time it's unreachable, I'd see the whole arena just kind of like getting quiet, almost like, okay, yeah, we've done what we needed to do. I don't think they're going to get loud the entire game from start to finish. It's going to be loud until Kentucky just kind of has it like 1-1, like, hey, this game's out of reach, and that'll be the end of it. That's just how I feel. Because you really think about it. Yao Rupp has finally added some noise to that arena for certain games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't know that they'll get as loud from start to finish when they play Arkansas. Now, when they play Auburn, I think that's a different story.
Yeah. I agree. Coach Ron says, hear me out. Start the movement now, February 1st. Arkansas, who is the Y? Oh, excuse me. John Robick. So, what do you think?
I wouldn't be shocked. This is going to sound bad. I wouldn't be shocked to see a former Calipari player be the Y.
How funny would it be if they got... I know it's not possible at all, and it would...
Rick Pitino?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
I honestly could see that. I could see that. Especially if they bring the denim jerseys back. Please bring the denim jerseys back.
There's rumors.
Christian hates them. Christian don't like them. I love them. I don't mind them.
Leave it to Wrangler. Leave it to Wrangler.
Oh my God.
Don't be shocked if they bring him out for the Arkansas
They'll
game.
bring him back.
I'm not going to be shocked because that's who they wore him against.
When they
the first time.
when they debuted him against Arkansas.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Might as well do it.
I got to see him. I got to see the updated version. I'll say that. If Nike's doing it, I trust Nike.
They better not. They better keep it old school.
No, there's obviously going to be a touch up to it. You can't have, that exact thing. 'Cause I think back then they were made by a different company. Maybe Adidas, maybe? I don't know.
It was Converse. I think it was Converse.
Oh, yeah. Coach Ryan, Carhartt jerseys for some modern flavor. I like that.
Well, that's some State Line jerseys.
Oh, I know State Line said these hats already sold out, but
your boy got one.
Yeah, your boy got one. I actually got 3 more.
Yeah, we're kind of waiting on them, man.
Yeah. So whoever comes up, if you guys come up or if I go down, we'll get them passed out.
Dibs.
Converse was who made it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said Converse.
I said Adidas. I didn't know who made jerseys back then.
Adidas.
Yeah, them.
Yeah, it's them.
But so I made a post the other day on the Cats Cup page on Twitter. So far, how would you rank what Coach Pope has done? How do you feel so far, grading?
What do you mean, as far as 0 to 10?
Expectation at the beginning of the year? What did I think?
No, I mean how do you grade what he's done so far in the 18 games he's coached?
A-.
A-?
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm gonna say A, just because I had I had low expectations. I'm not gonna say it was just because of Pope. I'll set him low so he could blow him out of the water, and so that I wouldn't be depressed if we didn't hit a crazy 30 win season or something like that. So I said about mid-20s, and he's already almost there.
Yeah.
Or I said about 20 to 23, somewhere in there, and he's 6-8 wins away from that. So I'd say about an A for me. Would like to if he can improve that defense over the course of the next 5 games, get them tuned up, get them more aggressive on that end. I'll bump that up to an A+.
Mark Stoops, I think it can go, if it goes lower than an F-, it can do that.
Hey, I will give props to Mark Stoops and the coaching staff for what they've done in the portal so far and what they've done recruiting.
Yeah.
I'll give them some props there. They went out. They knew what went wrong last year, and they've addressed it. And I've got stats for later in the show for you guys on that. But what's that, Cody?
St. John's does play on February 1st, but
Who do they
they
play?
play at 12 o'clock. They play Providence at home at 12 o'clock in the morning. We don't play
12
till 9
o'clock.
o'clock.
You mean like 12 o'clock p.m.?
Like noon.
Yeah, like
Noon?
noon. Yeah, in the morning, in the afternoon.
That Cody, it's not happening. Let's
No,
start.
bro.
We don't play till 9 o'clock. That flight on a private jet ain't that long. From St. John's.
Hear me out. Hear me out. What if they just opened up the roof of Rupp and he parachutes in the form of a Y?
With a denim thing above him. With one of
He
them.
comes in like Captain America, but in a denim jersey and holding the championship.
What if Calipari's the Y?
Oh, reverse. It's Billy Gillespie.
Oh my
Two
gosh.
Freebird. I like it. He comes in flying on Freebird's blasting. Billy Gillespie stumbles out there to be the Y.
I wouldn't
He
be a
accidentally
big
makes
fan.
an L because he's too drunk to stand up.
Oh,
I love you, Kansas fans. Good night.
go J-Cats. Yeah. Woo. We
That's
love him,
hilarious.
J-Cats.
That's hilarious.
That's
So I'm thinking like John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis.
could
I'm thinking it's going to be a Calipari player.
Matt Jones is the Y. That would be actually funny. That would be hilarious.
What about Devin Booker?
Interesting.
I would say be more
Well,
like
LeBron James. What about Drake?
I doubt it.
Is he still even in the country?
I don't know.
He lives in Canada. He's never in the country.
Wop, 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 wop.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't keep up with that young kid lingo. I don't.
That was a song.
Oh.
If you caught my drift.
Listen to a lot of Drake, but go ahead.
Oh, it's not Drake.
Oh.
It was another rapper. But you know,
Cool. All right.
yeah. So going back to Kentucky basketball, going back to the Mississippi State game, what did you guys take away from that game?
Going that far back?
That's just last Saturday. The Saturday before?
That was Texas A&M, feller.
Texas A&M.
That was the Tuesday game.
Yeah, my bad. We'll go
that
back
was a
to
good
that one.
game. That was a good game. They were without their best player. But again, win's a win, doesn't matter. You beat them by what, 11? Was it
12.
11? 12 with my 12. And I think that was a game Jackson Robinson went off, scored almost 20 plus points. And he was the
Lights
only
out.
one. He was the only one besides probably two players that hit double digits, and that right there was a really good defensive game. We kind of slacked behind on sometimes down the floor, but like that was a good game. Texas A&M's a really really good team, even better team when they've got their best player on the court. But without him, they're still a really good team. Going to make a run in March, I would think.
Yeah.
And in the SEC tournament, they'll probably upset a team that they're not supposed to.
And we
so
won the rebounding.
We
by
did.
10.
We did. I've noticed that we've been a little bit better on the rebounding side of things. Not great. You can tell we're still getting better at it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could like. I think Justin has said this before in one of the episodes. Like, it's super exciting to watch these guys play every week and see how much they progress through practice each week and everything like that, and how good of a job Pope has been doing to get these guys prepared each week. So, like I said, this team in March, we're going to be scary. Let me just go ahead and tell you that, because I think that we're going to get it figured out before March, hopefully. I feel like SEC tournament time, this team is going to have it figured out. And Pope
Very
is going to
much
have
so.
them ready. So, very excited.
Heck yeah.
I like it.
I like that, Cody.
Yeah, you could tell that we're still improving overall in certain areas that we did not look good in December. And I see us still improving little by little, day by day. a lot of fans are going to get impatient. Yes, we're going to have a few more bad games here and there. We've already lost 2 SEC games. I see us probably losing 3 to 4 more games before the SEC tournament. But overall, it's just a process.
Yep, 100% agreed. I mean, that's with every college basketball team. Some of these teams, like Alabama, they're going to lose a couple that they shouldn't have lost to. They lost to Ole Miss, which not saying Ole Miss is a bad team because Ole Miss is actually a really decent team this year. But again, we've got to play Alabama this year. It wouldn't shock me if we go down there and beat them.
We could.
Wouldn't shock me at all. They've got to play Auburn. Wouldn't shock me if Auburn beats them. Wouldn't shock me if they beat Auburn. That could go either way.
Yeah.
I don't know who all they've got to play. I know like South Carolina. South Carolina gave Auburn a game about a week ago, I think.
Yeah.
There's no easy game. None of these games are going to be easy.
Very good point.
Be prepared. Like I said, as another example, Vandy beat Tennessee last week.
Yeah.
At Vandy. Hey, did you all see that Vandy's women's teams, they beat Tennessee a day after at Vandy? I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a process. You can't jump off the UK bandwagon if you're a bandwagon. You can't jump off yet. This team is going to improve. Cats fans can't get upset if we lose a couple of these games.
Agreed.
You can't get upset. You're probably going to lose them. It's not like you're going to go undefeated. This isn't a Willie Cauley-Stein, Devin Booker, Harrison Twins, that 2015 year. This ain't this kind of team. And I love the fight that this team has. This team has a lot of fight. They don't give up easily, and excited. I'm just super, super excited where this goes. So
yeah, I'm excited to see what they did in the SEC tournament. It's gonna be. We'll be able to watch every game, Cody. Even the SEC championship games. It's gonna be a great time. But no, I'm excited. I'm with you there, Cody. I think this team could make a run. I'd like to see the bracket because, there's always that one side of the bracket that you're like, depending on, like, if you got a gauntlet or not. You're like, okay, I can see a Final Four appearance, and then sometimes you get stuck in that one that's just insane. Where they've got, like, a team that should be, like, a 2 or a 3, and they've got them at a 7 or something. Something stupid like that. So, it all depends on how they've got that kind of listed in there as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people have us in different brackets. Everybody's different in how they predict it. Mm-hmm. So far, Lenardi has Kentucky as a 3 seed playing in Wichita. I think will eventually get moved to Cleveland or Milwaukee for the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They've got us right now in the same bracket as Auburn, who's a number 1, Purdue, who's a number 2, us a 3, and Houston a 4. So that isn't a terrible bracket at all. Things could be much worse. They've put us in much worse brackets. So I see us being a 2 or a 3 as the season progresses. I don't see us getting any worse than a 3, especially when Kerr Kriisa comes back. Once Kerr Kriisa comes back, our offense is going to improve and our defense is going to get better because I feel like Kerr's one of our better defenders. I don't think he's the best one, but he's one of the better ones.
I think Kerr's energy when he's on the court elevates the play because everybody just gets hot because, he reminds me a lot of Matthew Dellavedova. I know that's not a guy everybody's like, oh, he's awesome, like he's all-time great. But Matthew Dellavedova was solid. He was smart, and he would go after any loose ball. He would dive like he was everywhere, and he had a great energy. And he was a big part on why the Cavs won that 2016 Finals. Because he'd come off the bench for Kyrie, and he'd just step right in and go off. So he reminds me a lot of Delly. So.
Actually, they have changed where they put us as of right now. We are in the same bracket as Alabama and Houston, Gonzaga, North Carolina, Michigan, and Oregon, and Clemson.
You're probably looking at another one, but I could see that happening too.
That's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
That's the one that I don't want to be.
Yeah, then you're gonna have to end up playing the winner of the top part of the bracket, which has got Alabama, Moorhead, Gonzaga, North Carolina in it.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet, man.
Yeah. Which, I mean, right now, North Carolina's fighting for a spot. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even a solidified pick. They're so in and out.
I mean, in just those top 3 teams Cody just listed. Like, I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
it's a gauntlet.
Hey, and what about Louisville? I know this is Kentucky podcast. Have you all been watching Louisville lately?
I don't watch that
A
stuff.
little bit
I
here
have.
and there.
I'm surprised on how good they're playing.
Believe it or not, they are second place in the ACC.
Mm-hmm. And nobody's still coming to the games. I don't know why.
They still got to give them away with Chick-fil-A orders and stuff. They got to sneak them in the bag. It's like those memes.
If you can't come to the game, if it's too rainy, give it to your neighbor. Ask him, do you want to go to an Arkansas game?
But no, you remember those memes? Like it's like you better check your kids' candy bags because they're giving away tickets to some random team. So, stuff like that.
There's some free tickets to the Arkansas game. Man, why would you not give me it? Why would you just give me those? They're awful. Take them.
No, you know, Cal is regretting that move. I'm grateful for it.
I think Arkansas fans are starting to regret it now.
Oh yeah, they see the light. Like we weren't wrong.
Maybe Kentucky fans were right. Maybe.
Yeah. Which I'd see
I don't
Arkansas improving year to year.
Yeah,
They'll
they
get
will.
better.
They will.
Yeah, they'll get better talent. I don't know about the product.
They'll be. Yeah, they're not going to be what they are right now.
Jake, we had a team with guys that are still producing in the NBA and didn't win a national championship.
Well, I'm not saying they're going to be like top of the nation. I'm just saying like they're going to get better. They're not going to be like 0-5 in SEC play in years to come. That's what
So
I
it'll be like 2-3, 1-4, stuff like that.
3-3, 4-3. You know, 7 seed, 6 seed in the SEC because the SEC is not going to be this dominant.
Yeah.
Long term, it's just not.
Which I think some of these like teams that are like not necessarily the biggest SEC schools, I think some of their coaches will end up leaving just due to either going to the NBA so they don't have to deal with the transfer portal and all that now. And
Possibly.
I could see a lot of that
Maybe.
going on or going to a bigger school if a school opened.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hey, women's team 16-1, by the way, undefeated in SEC
Heck
play.
yeah.
that's all I was getting ready to say. Cody, let's dig a little deep in there, buddy, because I know there's been some big wins for the little Lady Cats here recently.
There's been like one big win. I wouldn't say multiple. The only big win that they really had was Mississippi State's girls, and they beat them by almost 20 points. Mississippi State's a really good team, but they did just come off a win at Georgia, 78-64, and they've got A&M. They got to go to A&M, and then they've got Arkansas's girls at home that following Sunday. So, and then their first big SEC matchup is at home. They've got Alabama on Thursday. So, we'll see what they're kind of made of. This is where the stretch of harder SEC games for them comes in. This is where they got to end up playing the Texases and the LSU's and Tennessees, and they got South Carolina at the end of the year. So we'll see what the record is at that point. But
Sure.
Dude,
really, what? Sorry,
I got a little stat. So since the North Carolina game, since that game happened, they've only had one game that was within 10 points. That's nuts.
Yep.
That's over a month ago.
Yep.
It's like 40 days now.
They've been killing it, dude. Georgia Amore has hit a different level after that game, dude. I don't know what has happened to her. But she has got since then, she has scored 20 plus points a game.
Yeah.
And
ultimately, you got to give credit to coaching.
Oh, heck yeah.
Kenny Brooks.
I don't know how we ended up with him. That's We caught
think-
lightning in a bottle with him.
I think we ended up with him, getting the new facilities for them. Probably getting paid a lot more than he was making at Virginia Tech. A lot more.
Yeah, I could see that.
And he's gonna thrive there because it's probably a better college town than Virginia Tech. And just there's probably a bunch of other different things that we won't know about, but I'm just glad we got him. This is a wonderful get, and you're gonna have him for a long time, which is good.
I can see that.
I feel like him and Pope are gonna be the two most dominant college basketball coaches in Kentucky women's and men's history.
Sure.
I'll take that. I'll say that. We can post that on whatever Christian wants to post that on.
Yeah.
Mark Pope will be the greatest Kentucky basketball coach of all time.
Yeah.
And Kenny Brooks will be the greatest women's basketball coach of all time.
I
hate to say that because I really like Matthew Mitchell. But
our women's program went through some pretty dark years there because Matthew Mitchell, didn't he have some health issues and stuff?
He had some brain problems.
Yeah.
But they should get that all figured out. He's doing good. I've seen him post all the time.
That's good. And he was a good coach, I feel like.
Just can never get the talent.
Right.
Can never get talent. But Kenny Brooks is already getting the talent. He's got the talent. He's a heck of a basketball coach. So
So, sorry to interrupt, Cody, but I've got some stats that I just got to get off my chest.
No, we're not talking about Jagger. Sorry.
Well, yeah, kind of are.
God.
So
Get me out of
I'm just no. I know we I didn't touch base with all the stats that I got before the show, but some of these I asked the boys. I was like, "Can you predict kind of where these stats are?" Cody was kind of on the track on some of them, but I mean, some of these stats just are awful. So I'm gonna ask you guys, how many sacks do you think Kentucky allowed last year?
Overall? Whole year?
Whole year.
What do you think, Cody? You were actually there, so you should get first pick at that.
What are we doing now? I'm sorry.
How many sacks did we allow this year in football season?
Wait, we're doing this again?
I guess.
We didn't do this on the live.
Oh, we're doing it again. How many sacks?
Yeah.
Probably 26.
So they allowed 22.
That's close.
All right, Jake. How many times do you think the quarterback was hit last year?
Hit?
Yeah, that means like when he released the ball, he got hit.
I would imagine more than 26, so probably like 48 or something like that.
It's actually lower.
Oh.
It's not 19.
19?
So this is where I told you guys both the stats on these. So quarterback hurries. There was 82 of those.
Surprised me. Figured it would be more, to be quite honest with you.
That's not counting like when he evades the pocket. Like once he leaves the pocket and somebody's put like pressuring him, it doesn't count as a pressure. Wow. It's just like when he's in the pocket and he senses pressure and he's forced out.
Jeez. So
that happened 82 times. Pressures, actual pressures, was 123.
Ugh.
So that's awful. That's awful. Here's some more stats for you. So, PFF. I know some people don't like PFF, but they're pretty good on grading offensive linemen. So, overall, what do you think Jake, you're kind of familiar with PFF. What do you think the highest overall PFF grade was for an offensive lineman last year?
Probably like 61. Highest 61.
You're close. It's 62.3. Or I'm sorry, it's 63.2. It was actually Eli Cox.
Sheesh.
His pass block was 74. His run block was 59.9. And then everybody else's pass block was awful. Like Jalen Farmer, his pass block was decent. It was 68.1. Run block was awful at 61.1. Pass block for Dylan Ray was 50. And then Jagger Burton had a 60 PFF overall grade. His run block was 56.9. So on the edges, you had Marquez Cox. He had a 54.1. His pass block was 57.5, and his run block was 53. Mincy's was 53.4, a 48 pass block, and a 62.2 run block.
Ugh.
Malachi Woods was a 44.8, 25.3 pass block, 55.6 run block.
Gosh.
These were the people starting last year in the SEC. This is absolutely atrocious. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
that's awful. When your highest graded guy is at a 63.2, that's awful.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And most of your
bad.
sacks, I mean, so Malachi Wood, him and Cox led the team with the most sacks allowed in 5. And then also Cox and Woods and Eli Cox, they all three led the team in hurries and hits. Like, you can't win that way.
No.
Yeah.
Allowed 23, 22 pressures. Like, you just can't win with all that.
That's ridiculous.
Which you guys are the experts when it comes to the realm of UK football because you guys are actually at the games.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you feel like this offensive line compared to Will Levis's last year before he left?
Oh, this one was way worse.
Yeah.
You really think so?
Yes.
Worse
Yes.
than the okay. Because
This
I was going to say Will Levis had a bad line, but he, produced some.
Well, that year, I think it was more play calling as well because the offense was so predictable. Like, you knew, like, you could sit up there and you could call each play. And there were so many 3 and outs. It was just mostly because we were running screens every third down. Didn't matter what yardage it was going to be a screen pass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just knew what was coming every time. As a run on first, a shot or a play action, maybe a run on second down. Most of the time it was a play action deep shot. And then third down, it was a screen pass under Skaggs. So.
True. Good point.
But, so, Mark Stoops and the boys, they went out in Smarrow. They went all big dog on them. They got a few cats out there.
Okay.
So, we'll start with my favorite pickup this offseason. It is Alex Walschlager from Bowling Green. 6'7", 305 pounds. He only allowed 1 sack last year, 1 quarterback hit. And his offensive grade was a 74.7. Run block was 72.7. Pass block was 72.9. He only had 3 penalties last year. Oh, let me go back and let me find the penalties for last year's team, too. I didn't even think of that.
Go ahead.
All right. How many times do you think
Mark
the team...
Pope.
It was 48. That's how many times they were flagged last year.
The offensive line alone?
Just the offensive line alone. 48.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is bad.
So,
Nice.
and then you go over.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's
It
just,
doesn't.
I kind of figured it was going to be more, I'll be honest. But
Yeah.
he does, he's awful. But then you go over and you get Joshua Braun from Arkansas. He's 6'6", 338 pounds, guard.
Boy.
Allowed 1 sack, 2 hits, and 5 hurries. He had a 73.3 offensive PFF grade, a 71.5 run block, but an 85.8 pass block. So against teams like Tennessee, A&M, LSU, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss, and let me see who else. Oh, that's UAB. That's not really a big opponent. But out of those 5 SEC schools, he had an plus pass blocking grade on each of those, and didn't allow a sack or a penalty or a hit or a pressure in any of those games. So dude's already SEC tested. So I think we got a gym there at guard with Braun. And then the newly acquired, his name's kind of hard to pronounce. It's Shazai Pete, tackle from New Mexico State. He's 6'8", 320 pounds. So got a big boy there. So last year he had a 75.6 overall PFF grade, 72.8 run block, and a 70.8 pass block. Had 2 sacks, 5 pressures, 3 hurries, no QB hits, and no penalties. So I like that.
Okay.
And then Evan Wibberly from Western Kentucky, keeping him in state, had 0 sacks, 0 QB hits, 10 hurries, and 3 penalties.
Yeah.
Had a 68.3 offense, 59.6 run block, but an 86.2 pass block. So it seems like they're really going after these cats that can pass block.
Yeah.
And that's what we've really needed.
That's exactly what we need to do.
Yeah. Give the quarterback a little time.
Bless you.
Thank you. But
And
go ahead, keep going, Christian. I'm sorry.
because, the way that the offense is moving forward, we've kind of went away from the old school, like when Stoops first started, like ground and pound, we're going to run all over you, to more, we're going to throw all over you, or try to at least, since Levis has came here. So, they're trying to incorporate more passing in that regard. And then we also got Wallace and Numba, however you want to say that, tackle from New Mexico. He is 6'4", 330, 64.1 PFF, 64.8 run block. Pass block is 67.5. 0 sacks, 2 hits, 9 pressures, 6 penalties. So, and he primarily was on that left tackle position. So I feel like he's going to be more of a depth piece. So,
Well, it's obvious that the offensive line is going to get better with these numbers that Christian's putting out. We're going to improve in certain aspects of the game. But who did you say was going to be coming in as starting quarterback this upcoming season, Christian?
Well, it's still kind of up in the air, but I'm going to say it's going to be Calzada. He's 24 years old. He played at Texas A&M, transferred to Auburn, didn't play, and then went to Incarnate Word, and had insane stats there last year. Can't really equate that to SEC level play there, though. But that's who they'll probably end up rolling with. Maybe Cutter wins the job. Who knows? He might take that next step and just ball out.
We got a long time before that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we've not even had the spring practice yet. I just wanted to dig a little bit into the new offensive line. Give a little hope there, knowing that the offensive line is going to be better, or it seems that way. So, whether all these new guys are going to start, or if they're going to have like a put the building block Jagger Burton out there at right guard or left guard
or running back.
If
they
we
can't do no wrong.
Honestly, hear me out. Bring back the wishbone and let's run the ball.
Okay, Dudley. 42 on one on one, right?
No, that would be kind of cool though. Run a wishbone, have Jagger at the fullback. Have Wilcox, Patterson.
He missed the block. What do you mean?
Bush said Cody so negative.
You can get all these offensive linemen in here, but you gotta coach them first,
Yeah.
I'm saying. Kind of like what we were talking about, like the Rupp thing, losing at home.
Andy Grant.
We cannot lose at home to teams that we're not supposed to lose to at home. I get the Texases and the Ole Misses coming in next year, but you cannot lose to the people that you're not supposed to lose to at home.
See, I feel like we could beat Ole Miss.
We were fortunate. That was a fluke game when we beat them on the road last year. And they're going to be coming for blood.
Lane Kiffin always drops one, bro. He drops one to a team that he should not be losing to every year.
On my way, Bush. On my way. You know what?
Cody get lost. He'd actually be late.
Oh dear gosh.
That would be late.
Cody would tell you he'd say he'd pull up on you at 7:30. He'd be there at 9.
Nobody said we can't lose to South Carolina or Vandy. Lord, they're good. They're going to be good next year. South Carolina definitely will be.
Yeah.
Browns.
The SEC in football is going to be a much different conference next year from what it was this year.
Be awful.
This was just a down year for the conference. Next year, you're going to see a lot more improvement over the entire.
Vandy brings almost everybody back.
Yeah.
South Carolina brings everybody back basically, besides a couple of guys.
Alabama's going to be coming out for blood. They can't afford to have the same type of season they just had.
Yeah.
Same for Georgia.
Georgia's going to have to fight. I don't know who they're going to have quarterback-wise. That's going to be an interesting topic for a lot of people.
I see that quarterback that they started in the Sugar Bowl. He's going to get better. He's going to get better more than likely. Every team I feel like in the SEC will more than likely get better next year. I right now can't think of
going to be the front runner in my opinion. I think A&M will. A&M.
Okay.
Be the front runner in my opinion. Missouri will be really good, more than what people think they will be. If they lose their quarterback, we'll see what they do quarterback wise, but they've got good talent on the roster.
They seem to reload pretty good. Missouri does.
DJ Lagway, Florida's going to be tough next year. He's going to be even better than he was. I hate that. Tennessee's going to be Tennessee, do good all year, and then get to the playoffs probably and won't be able to. They don't know what football is. Just going to be tough. It's going to be like basketball this year. It's going to be every team you play, you're going to have to play with them. You can't just whack around and not play.
What do you think Mississippi State's going to do about their head coaching situation? Because I see them getting a different coach and just absolutely because they apparently, from what I've been told, Mississippi State has absolutely went off in the transfer portal and has gotten a ton of people in the transfer portal. Not sure as to who, but I've been told that they will be a surprise team next year as far as improvement. I'm not talking like SEC championship or top.
But they're going to win more than 2 games like they did this year.
Right.
More than 2 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. It sucks because I'm not sure on what we're gonna be able to do. I know we have a good recruiting class coming in, and we got some really good transfers coming in. But I don't know. We'll see. It all depends on how our offensive line does, how our quarterback situation, what it looks like here this summer.
See, Ohio State was just lucky Kentucky wasn't in the playoff.
Oh,
just wanted to see Mark Stoops.
Sure.
I mean, Tennessee wasn't ready for him, so.
Well, I don't know that anybody was. Michigan beat them out of nowhere, and I think they just got mad at the whole world and stuff.
They unlocked.
Well, I think Ohio State's really pushing to get the 16-team playoff so they can win the beginning of that one too, because that's the only ones they're going to win. But it's the only time they win a national championship. But no, I'm just messing. That was a good team this year. They were tough. Even though I don't like Ohio State, but still can't be mad. They were probably the best team to beat. So
I'm trying to think of just an oddball stat that would have worked in those two.
Them two were the only two that supported Jesus throughout the entire playoffs.
Oh, I did like that. But
they were.
Wait, were those 2 championships 10 years apart?
The Ohio State championships,
no.
Yes.
No.
Ohio State's 2 championships, the one that they won?
I thought it was 11 because they won it at 14.
It was a 2014 season. Yeah.
So this one's technically like the 24.
I thought they won 13-14.
No.
Oh.
Florida State won 13-14.
That's right, because Zeke went in the 2015 draft.
Yeah.
2016 draft, I'm sorry. So because he played one more year. Bush had got to go driving from the hospital. Prayers out to you, Bush.
Yeah,
and your mother. Hopefully she is all right and God's with her. So. But you guys got anything else before we wrap this one up?
Sure don't, buddy.
Nope. We got it. We got it, man.
If you guys just want to end it here, do you guys want to?
Whatever you want to do. I don't have a
Alright.
Bible verse.
Yeah, I don't either for today.
I didn't
yeah.
have time this today.
Yeah, I haven't.
We apologize, but
Yep.
God is good.
Absolutely.
If you're ever in need of help or prayer, you can always reach out to one of us here, and we'll pray with you and try to help out as best we can. And as always, go Cats!
Go Cats.
Go Cats. Oh.